I'm going to try and explain this video as best I can so that everyone can understand digestion a little bit easier. Alright? In your mouth, okay, you got amylase. Alright? Amylase, maltase, sucrase. A mixture of things that break down sugars, starches. Alright? I'm a vegan. Alright? I'm vegan. Okay? Been vegan for a long time, like about a decade. In that time as being vegan, like a lot of you, I've done my research and so on and so forth, but coming straight on in, when you go vegan, eat this, that, and the third, and you come into the meat, and this, that, and the third, you go, oh, the meat, and the meat goes in your thing, and the meat rots, and then it comes out, and meat rotting in your gut, and the meat rots in your colon, and the meat's rotting here, and the meat's rotting there. Nobody's ever thought to think about the complete digestive process, because if we would have thought about the complete digestive process of a human being, we wouldn't have came to the conclusion that it was the meat that was rotting. I'm going to get to that. But first, let's go to the process. When you eat, say, fruit, it goes into your mouth. Most of what you eat is fruit. I'm telling you right now, all you ate was cellulose. That's it. Cellulose. Because the water absorbed, the sugar and all that, that's just broken down immediately and absorbed. That's why if you eat some fruit, it's absorbed into your body, into your system. It's assimilated within about an hour and a half. But what's not assimilated within that hour and a half? I'll tell you what's not. The byproduct, the cellulose. And it's because that actually needs to be broken down by the bacteria all the way down in your colon. Okay? That is the only area that has a bacteria or bacteriite that can break down the cellulose. And that is why, okay, that's why, listen, that is why when you eat these grains, vegetables, and so on and so forth, if you notice, you fart a lot. You get a lot of gas, especially when you eat cruciferous stuff, you know, the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts and the, right? Because you create an element that backs up this system, especially because you eat too much, you know, because when we eat food, we eat too much. And every time we eat something, we eat way too much. And it gets overaccumulated in our gut. But not only that, we have a history of consistently taking antibiotics. So we knock out and ruin some of this gut stuff. So even if we eat normal stuff, we don't have enough of this bacteria that is built to handle this down here in our gut. So we get a lot of indigestion, and people will tell you, oh, if I eat that, I get bloated. If I eat this, oh, it makes my stomach, yeah, just that. And that's because of this process, okay? Now, what is rot? Rot is when a fungus and or bacteria breaks something down. That's right. You know, if something's rot, if you want to look up, you know, rot, something rotting, you know, something rots, it's, you know, something, a fungus or bacteria is breaking something down. Okay? We say that when individuals eat meat that, you know, the meat is going to rot in your stomach and rot in your gut. Let's put it this way. Okay? This is your gut. The meat comes down in here. Inside of your gut here, okay, it's a layer of acid. This layer of acid has like a pH of like 1.5 to 2, okay? You stick your damn finger in there, it'll slowly digest that, okay? So, as soon as you eat that, and you start chewing up that steak and you put it down in here. Now, remember this. Remember this, because this is intelligent. It's intelligent to store all this information. When you're chewing up in your mouth, this is to break down starches and carbohydrates and so on and so forth with your saliva. That's what that's for. It's not for some steak. If you put a potato chip in your mouth, it starts to dissolve. You put a cheese doodle in your mouth, it starts to dissolve. Okay? You put any kind of starch, sugar, carb, it starts to dissolve. Some candy sit in, it's going to start to dissolve. Put a piece of steak in your mouth, just sit there, it's just going to sit there. Because you don't have the acidic pH to start breaking that down yet. Okay? So what is all these for? I'm going to tell you. So that when you go to eat this meat, flesh, you can tear the flesh up. What are you doing? You are increasing surface area. Increasing surface area so that when it hits splash, your acidic juices, and your body pumps out more. There's some in there, but once it comes in there, your body knows and it'll pump out more. But it only pumps out a certain amount. So don't think for 2 seconds you can just keep consuming, because what you're going to do is you're going to slow down and you're going to back up the system. Why? Because this 1.5 to 2 pH acidic acid here, this is the first thing that starts breaking down as soon as it hits your stomach, is the meat. It can't rot. Nothing rots in acid. As soon as it goes in there, it starts breaking it down. And what your stomach does is this. As the meat is sitting in there, it starts to emulsify it. And then before you know it, the valve opens. Shh. Okay? What's in here is, what is it? Trypsin, pepsin, and like chymotrypsin. Okay? And all three of these are basically protease, which is an enzyme, acidic enzyme that breaks down protein. Okay? But your body knows, because it is the most evolutionary, well-designed, technologically advanced computer in the world, your digestive system, and it knows once that, because it's a certain pH, and so it knows once that it starts to break that down to a liquid form, and it senses that that's ready, and it's been turned into like a chum, okay? It's been broken down. Now it releases the valve into the small intestine, and it lets that leak out. And then it closes it back and continues digestion, and then I'll let it leak out a little bit more. Now, remember I just told you it was breaking down the protein by using protease. What else is in meat that's always there? Fat. We need to break that down too, but not here. Unfortunately, there's no lipase here, and fat is a lipid, so we need lipase. We need that enzyme. So, when this is released here into the smaller intestine, okay, we get some bile. Okay, we get bile. Alright, that's when the bile, the gallbladder, liver, all those guys, we get salt and bile, which breaks down the fats and emulsifies the fats. Okay? This is why you need your gallbladder. Do not let them take it, because you need that if you're going to be consuming any kind of fats for the rest of your life, because that is what emulsifies fat. And you need to emulsify that fat. If you can't, it is totally and completely unabsorbable. It's just going to sit there in your body and just sludge everything up. And you're not going to be able to get any benefits from it, because it can't be broken down and absorbed, because it hasn't went through the catalyzation or the process of being broken down by the enzyme, because it needs to be broken down by that enzyme so that it can continue through the process of digestion. So, from there it goes through. Now all the protein is all broken down, and then right when the chum just pours in, now when it pours into there and it pours down into there, you best believe inside all that chum in there, it's a little fatty, little fatty oozes up in there. Boom, because it's not solid, not like it's solid. So we ain't got to worry about it. It's oozing out of there with the rest of the protein sludge. Add the bile, add into the salts. Now you emulsify this fat, okay? The same thing that happens to this fat is the same exact thing that would happen to a drop of olive oil if you put a squeeze of lemon on it, okay? Now your body can now absorb these things. But the reason I explain that to you like that is to explain to you that, oh, Piper, come on, man, how'd you miss that? And this entire process, I know I told you the fruit was like an hour and 20 minutes to 2 hours. This process here is 4 to 5 hours. So that is the thing with meat that is different than anything else. It takes the longest to digest and break down. This takes about, 4 to 5 hours to break down and empty and, do what it has to do. So that does take a little while. But that while for 4 to 5 hours, it doesn't mean it's rotting. You get what I mean? It doesn't mean it's rotting, all right? And the thing that happens with people when they get sour stomach, so on and so forth, is when they do bad combinations, okay? They do bad combinations. And when I say they do bad combinations, I mean this. I just explained to you what happens in your stomach with some meat, right? And how it all has to go down there and how the acids have to do what they have to do. You can fuck that up. Most of the time you fuck that up. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We'll go have a fucking oatmeal cookie. We'll eat some shit they put out on the goddamn table. Go throw in some corn chips. We'll just go and pack in a whole bunch of different stuff before we even supposed to get our meal. And now we got a whole bunch of other stuff. Remember, I said it's supposed to go in there. It's supposed to sit in this ass and put a whole bunch of crap in there. Now we want to go, yeah, now I want to put my steak on there with my mushroom butter sauce with my... Now you got all this other crap in here. Then you got the steak growing on top. Now you got the body with the asses and everything going on there. We're not meant to be making a concoction of food and just tossing them all in there at one time. You understand? If you're going to eat a piece of meat, you eat that piece of meat and then you let your body break down and digest that. Just that. That's it. If you ever notice when animals, even, carnivorous animals, even when it's time for them to heal or something like that, they don't eat or chew on these herbs because they do. All animals eat herbs. They know exactly what plants to go to for whatever issue. They don't do this while their body is on digestion because it'll cause indigestion. Because you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Like, I can tell you right now, do you think it's a good idea to have an apple and a piece of steak? Common sense would tell you no. Because naturally in nature, you're never going to go out there and be like, let me go find this thing and kill it and hunt it if there's a fucking apple right there. I wouldn't. Now, food was a little scarce, and it wasn't any. There wasn't anything to eat. I saw an elk or a deer over there, and there's nothing to eat. And I need to survive as a human in a real natural world, no supermarket. Yeah. That deer sounds like a good idea right about now. But think about it. It's just going to be that deer. It's not going to be that deer with a side salad and some peaches with some pie. And wash that down with a Coke. And no. Simplify it. And that's the problem. We can't simplify the simplicity and natural order of our diet. We want to sit around, we want to argue about certain things. Now, yes, it takes meat longer for your body to digest, but it can digest it. No matter how much new age crazy information is out there about meat, it can be digested. And no, it doesn't rot in your stomach as long as you don't impede the digestion process. And I'm not lying to you about anything. You can record this video 500 times and show it to the actually, forget nutritionists. They don't know what the fuck I know. I don't even know what they're doing. But you can show this video to anybody, and they can equate and tell you about these enzymes as far as, the amylase and the pepsin and the trypsin and so on and so forth, and what they do and the pH of them. You can do all this research and find out yourself because you know, right? Now you got to ask yourself this. You're a human. We've been evolving for years now, right? I'm a vegan for 10 years. I'm not advocating for no meats. I'm not advocating. But my job as me is to bring y'all the truth of whatever it is so you can make the best decisions in your life so that you can become the best you. So I gotta make this video, even if it does, shoot vegans in the fucking foot. I don't care. I'm not, I don't give a fuck about that. The idea is truth. Okay? And the truth of the matter is, we can digest meat. And if we were not supposed to be eating meat, you really, really, really have to tell me, why is it we're so well designed to break it down, and what do we need a acidic pool in our gut of 1.5 to 2.5 if we're going to be trying to eat fruit that has an enzyme that breaks down itself? Fruits just, they break down themselves. There's nothing really for that. Fruits are absorbed by the body, and the cellulose is expelled, and it's supposed to be broken down by bacteria in the gut. This is also why we're supposed to refrain from grains. This is also why grains aren't doing anything for us. Wheat, corn, soy, these things don't do anything for us. We are under the impression that these things do anything for us, but they don't do anything for us. They don't. And that's why if you go into a supermarket, 80% of the fucking supermarket is wheat, corn, and soy. 80%. 80% of it. If you walk around the entire corner and just look, you can go wheat, corn, soy. Look at the entire fucking cereal aisle. You can go wheat, corn, soy. Then go into like the baking aisle where they have all the baking stuff. It's just going to go wheat, corn, and soy. No matter what it is, it's just wheat, corn, and soy. Then you can go to the next aisle of cooked stuff. It's just going to be a bunch of beans, and then you're going to have grains as far as like rices and pasta and so, and, wheat, corn, and soy, all over again. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it's almost as if that's like the fluff that we've, it's like wheat, corn, and soy, and then out of nowhere they just brought in like dairy, out of nowhere, as if, and it's just, you got to understand that there are subsidies. The government pumps. The government makes a certain amount of thing. The government has to feed you a certain amount of shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's things that if we thought about it, it doesn't occur that way. And I don't want to, I don't want to push anybody away from, veganism and tell them, hey man, go eat meat because you can digest it, and hey man, it's not going to rot in your gut. But I'm not here to lie to anybody for, my own agenda, so that everybody becomes vegan and this, that, and the third. Because in all honesty, the way these animals are tortured and so on and so forth, yeah, it's a little ridiculous. And yeah, everyone, I think, veganism is just better for the world overall, because as human beings, psychologically, on another level, when we eat the meat that we eat the energy that it was subdued under. So we're eating that depression, that anxiety, and everything, and that's why we suffer from a lot of those things too. So, yes, you would receive a different energy from a free roaming deer out in the middle of nowhere that you killed yourself with an arrow instantly to the head without any fear, shock, anxiety, depression, or torture his entire life, and without the adrenaline being rushed into the blood. Because when an animal is going through all the shaking and the fear and everything, all that fear and everything, that fight or flight reaction, all the blood gets pumped right into the muscle. So, and then what happens? You eat the muscle. And so you're eating all of that energy. You get what I'm saying? So a native years ago who hunted down an elk in the forest and understood, and the elk understood, because on a deeper level, on a shamanic level, what a lot of people don't understand, and I gotta go here, is that an elk or deer, they have a certain relationship with the earth, and we have a certain relationship with the earth. We're not separate from the earth. The same connection that the antelope has with the lion or the cheetah or the tiger has with the zebra, or so on and so forth. We have the same affinity with other animals, and when we're amongst them in our natural order of things, they understand their order of things. And when I go to say that, like a deer they know that they are to be hunted and to be ate. They know that that is part of their soul process here in this process. And I know to a lot of people it sounds like that is crazy, but that is something that they were actually trying to show you in Avatar, as these enlightened individuals went hunting, but hunted on a certain level with the animals, on a certain respect, and gave them a certain respect because it was a cycle of life that was continuing because they were all in the same situation together. You understand? But yeah, that's basically on a different level. But the way we're doing it and the way we're going about eating meat is just not right. It's not in the natural order of things, and it is being extremely overconsumed. Because also, if anybody's ever watched anybody in the rainforest, in the jungle, watched anybody hunt boars or something like that, let me tell you something right now, man. These guys will go and these guys will hunt for like a week, 2 weeks, or sometimes they get lucky. They'll only hunt for like, you know, I don't know, 2 or 4 days. But they could be out there hunting for up to 2 to 4 weeks on a trail, hunting something. Why? Because of the affinity. Their feet's on the ground. They're hunting the animal's feet's on the ground. We're both connected to the earth. We are one with the earth. I can feel it, it can feel me. It knows it's being hunted. It knows I'm chasing it. It's a natural thing that's going on. You're burning off that energy while you're doing it. You're thinking about where it's went. You're psychoanalyzing the forest, the tracks, the trails. You're connecting with the earth. You're doing all this insane, crazy stuff. Shit that you don't do when you just get out your goddamn car and just slow your mayonnaise slathering ass the fuck up the goddamn aisle as you waddle over there, you know, and sit there and select the sickest, deadest, dying, most pathetic, poison, cancerous, fucking ridden meat you can fucking find. Yeah. It's a lot different than that. You got to burn a lot of calories, and a lot of mental aptitude must take place. And then after that, you finally get all the way back with you and your boys, your 3 or 4, your 5 hunting parties, and y'all finally get this here. It ain't like you gonna get the biggest share. You finally get back, man. The women are taking care of that. It ain't like the men just come back and do what they want. No, the men, women are like, all right, thanks. You fellas did a great job. Y'all can go sit up over there. We're gonna chop this up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make a stew. And then we're gonna give you a portion. And that's it. Then you get like a stew or something or this made out of it, and then you might get one like nice little cut of meat. And it's like, bloop, bloop, bloop. Then that's it for like another 4, it could be 3, 4, 5 days, 2 weeks, or longer until y'all got that energy in you again to go out there and do that hunting party stuff again, because it ain't like animals just gonna stroll on by so you can go and kill it. You get what I'm saying? So right there and then, you only eat meat twice a month or 3, 4 times a month if you're just rich and y'all hunting like that and hunting is just that good. Otherwise, you eat meat like twice a month. And you eat meat twice a month, you good. You eat meat twice a month, you good. I said it. You eat meat twice a month, you good. You eat you a clean, perfectly nice, clean, by itself. Nothing clean, perfect, twice a month, clean, by itself. You good. You know what I'm saying? Like, the problem is, can you do that? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying only twice. You know, the way we're designed after what it is I explained, you could eat it more frequently, but the idea is just to let you know there's a way to go about it, and we just go about it the wrong way. If you look at the way it's designed in a hunt-wise pattern, the way we would actually go about eating meat, we wouldn't be cutting down and slicing up something in sausages and eating dead egg early in the morning, then slicing up eating the steak hoagie lunchtime, you know, then go home, steak or fucking pork chops, fucking gravy and shit, fucking dinner. You fucking ate 3, 4 animals in one day. Oh, you must be a great fucking hunter, right? That's the problem. Overconsumption, and we don't think enough. When you watch the video, you know, I don't have to tell you to, you know, approach it with an open mind. I gave you everything pretty flat, but you can put it into your own thoughts. You understand? That's why when we eat grains and we eat certain things and the vegetables, we get all these farts and stuff, you know? Even with the beans and stuff, you know? Think about it. We can't eat any of this shit until it's like fucking borderline cooked and soaked and treated. Otherwise, it's fucking poisonous. Okay? There's a enzyme in a sugar, you know, in beans called raffinose. We don't make raffinase in our gut. There's nothing we can fucking do with that. So if we fucking eat it, we gotta deal with the bubbly guts, the fucking flatulence, the feeling bloated, and all this other extra stuff because we wanted to get some extra fiber from some beans, from some protein that, you know, doesn't necessarily, you know, and then you gotta, it doesn't necessarily turn over, you know what I'm saying? Because it has a give and then it has a take. So you have to break those all the way down and think about it, you know? Think about it. You guys have got to think about this stuff, okay? So when you think about the argument about meat rotting in the gut, I have to say the only time meat would actually rot in the gut is if someone added a starch and or carbohydrate or loaded up the system and then added meat to it. A combination of would cause indigestion and or a sour stomach because of basically the combination of what it is you put in there. But what does rot in your gut naturally on another level would be the cellulose of the fruit and vegetables that you eat because they're completely undigestible. Okay? And on that note, I have to tell you guys, we always want to try and compare ourselves to herbivores who eat this, and we want to try and compare ourselves to cows and stuff like that, you know, the goats, the cows, you know, and so on and so forth. But we need to understand something about them, all right? They got two fucking stomachs. Not only do they have two stomachs, okay? They have two stomachs, okay? All right? One's called like a rumen, and it goes in there, and after they go, they chew it, it goes into their stomach, then it goes into the stomach, and then it ferments, and then after it ferments, because this fermentation that I'm talking about is what's going on down in our colon when we have the right bacteria down there. After it ferments, because this is what's necessary to break the cellulose down that we love so much, it regurgitates it, and it fucking chews it again, and then it swallows it. And that's how a cow digests that. We don't even do that. We just send it down one, and it just goes all the way through. And that's why, if you always notice, what's in your poop? If you go to look in your poop, have you ever seen a chunk of chicken in there? The fucking answer is no. Have you ever seen a chunk of steak in there? Have you ever seen a chunk of steak in your poop? The answer is no. Have you ever seen a chunk of salmon in your poop? The answer is no. Okay? Why? Because it's already been digested. But what will you see in there? You'll see corn. You'll see a chickpea. You'll see a black bean. You'll see quinoa. You'll see lentils. You'll see broccoli. You know what I'm saying? You'll see watermelon. You'll see all these different things that you ate in there. You know what I'm saying? And we're under the impression that this is the highest quality stuff to eat, when if it is, then in all honesty, it should be the most readily absorbed stuff that we're eating. That's just a common sense thing right there. You can take that how you want it. You get what I'm saying? And on the flip side, somebody ever puke? You ever just notice somebody puke? Now, why am I going from the puke? Because I just gave you an end product of something that could take 24 hours. Nobody knows. It could take 6, 8, 24 hours, depending on your digestive system, right? So who knows what happens in that whole time. But when somebody pukes, that's not coming all the way from down there. That's right in your stomach, right? When that regurgitates up and somebody pukes, that's right there. Very rarely do you see somebody puke up something and you can just look and see meat in there. Very rarely you see that. If somebody eats something that had meat, if somebody eats something and they were out eating something with meat and spaghetti and they go to puke up something, you're just going to see the spaghetti. Because it can't digest in the stomach because it's a goddamn carb. You get what I'm saying? And we don't masticate it enough. We'll just chew, and then that's it. Then it goes down to the stomach. This is spaghetti, all these carbs and all stuff. This is supposed to be chewed and emulsified up here until the point. This is supposed to be your point where you create your chum before you empty its esophagus down to here, because this is supposed to do some digestion for you. You get what I'm saying? So, when you start to look at things that way, you start to understand that the things that we eat, all right, are not necessarily supposed to be combined in a certain rate, and they're not supposed to be eaten as often, and that's what causes us so many different digestive problems, because we have too much shit to eat and too much shit to combine everything with. We have too many fucking recipes. We can't eat anything simply. That's the problem. No matter what it is I do to the day I die, I will just I will just keep looking for I will just seek out the most evolutionary information I can possibly find, so that we can get this correct, so that we can make the best decisions possible going forward, so that the next generation doesn't have to be as fucking, nutritionally fucking confused as we are. Paleo, snake, vegan, raw, fruit, I just breathe air. At some point we have to understand certain things, and we're going to have to sit with certain facts, no matter how we feel about our morality. As humans nowadays, we feel very, very guilty about a lot of things, and it causes us to stressors to pop in us, and for us to swing one way, and then we stop thinking. I just want to instill thought in people, so that they can still think, even though I'm a vegan for 10 years and that's my life, and I'm not into eating meat, there's still people out there that eat meat, and with all the veganism and everything going on, I don't want them feeling shut out or shut down or weird because of it, or start falling into all the slogans and the fads and everything like that with that, because I did too, and after doing my research I realized that that's not true. After thinking about it, I also understood that that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Somebody pukes in something out there, you're like, oh, they must have had some corn, or oh, they must have had some this, oh, they must have had some that. Nobody ever goes, oh, looks like he's eating beef. Oh, looks like some barbecue chicken. Oh, nobody ever says that. Why? Because it's already been emulsified and turned into chum. So it doesn't rot, because that is the first thing that is bubbling, that's going in your stomach from the beginning. So the meat rotten theory and or myth has just been blown completely to shits. And if people would actually think about grains and about other things, they'd understand that there's naturally, if you were going around somewhere and you were hungry, would you just look and see a field of wheat and be like, I'm gonna go grab all that wheat, I'm gonna mill it, then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna, I don't know, send it through a grinder, then I'm gonna make a powder, I'm gonna add some water from the river, then I'm gonna make a pot in a kiln, then I'm gonna make me a piece of bread, then I'm gonna kill me a deer, goddammit. After I kill me the deer, then I'm gonna make me a fucking deer burger, and you wouldn't fucking do that. But we do it nowadays because we just fucking made up, fucking got too much shit. You get what I'm saying? So it just fucks up everything and just causes, indigestion and all kinds of problems in our gut. And then we start eating stuff like all of these grains, the wheats, the corns, and the soy.